What's up, Eagles Nation? This is Bry with Eagles Real Talk, the flyest covering the Eagles in the game. Okay, so this is Eagles Real Talk live, post-game live, rather. And the game is still going on. There's 24 seconds, so we're just going to, finish this game up, see if we pull this one out. They're on the 5-yard line right now. Shotgun, pass, incomplete. Oh, but there's a flag. Looks like there's a flag on Goodrich, but we'll see. It looks like the refs are, they're huddling right now. They're seeing who the penalty was actually on. Oh, it looks like that was actually on the offense. It looked like a push off on Charles on the Jets, number 82. So it looks like they'll be backed up with the penalty on the offense. He clearly extended on that, so I don't know what's going on right now. These refs they've been okay. The refs have been all right tonight. 21 seconds left. Nick Sirianni still talking his talk out there. We'll get into that later on. Good to see people starting to pop up in the chat. Touchdown to number 9 on the Jets. I think his last name was Jackson. So the Jets just pulled ahead by with the score 23-21. Kick a field goal right here. They may go for 2. 16 seconds left. It's just a preseason. If you're here, we took care of business, especially the first half with the starters and the second string guys. So this is just, garbage time stuff right here, which I can live with. I guess that the cover corner on that was number 39 on the Eagles. So, a bunch of guys that are just, on the bubble, probably not going to make the roster who are in right now. So don't be upset with the final score. We played great. If you missed it, the first half went awesome. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts, he took care of business. On the first drive, we'll just get straight into it. On the first drive, he went out there, took him down the field, went 6 for 6. It was a beautiful drive. He started off with a pass to Sanders, went for a first down, 12 yards, and then I believe a 28-yard, 32-yard catch by Quez Watkins, who I was very excited for going into the game. He was one of my guys to watch tonight. He did well. And then we ended up throwing. Actually, Jalen Hurts ran it in, so he ran in a touchdown, but it got called back because of a penalty. So it got called back, and then right after that, touchdown to Goddard. He dove in the end zone. It was a beautiful catch and run. You know what I mean? So Dallas Goedert, he's going to eat all season because that middle of the field is going to be more open than ever, especially with the addition of A.J. Brown. Speaking of A.J. Brown, he did not get a catch tonight, but don't worry. More are coming. A lot more are coming. He's going to get plenty of targets this year. So if you're looking at the stats, which we'll go over in a second, don't be alarmed. It was a quick drive. Like I said, Jalen Hurts went 6 for 6, perfect passer rating. He looked great. He looked in midseason form. I don't need to see any more the rest of the preseason, to be honest. Let me know how you guys feel. If you think the offense, after seeing what you've seen tonight from the first team offense, do they need to play another down, or did you see enough? They probably will, but they didn't play too much last year. So maybe Nick Sirianni's like, hey, no major injuries. Let's get at it. Let's get out of the preseason. We seen enough. Jalen Hurts is primed to win this year. AJ and the gang on the wide receiver room is primed to win. That's all they talk about is winning and getting better. And I think tonight they did. And Devontae Smith wasn't even in the game. So, there's so many targets that are going to be available this year for this offense. I can't wait. So, okay, right now Carson Strong just pretty much threw a terrible pass. I don't know what he was doing with that. The game is still going on if you're just joining Eagles Real Talk Live post game. The game is still going on. We're down 24-21, 10 seconds left. I'm sorry, that was not Carson Strong. That was Reed Sinnett, he's still in the game. He's still in the game. So we'll see if we can pull off a little miracle, right now. But right now, let's go over the game. So first stats, let's go over the quarterback stats. Okay, let's start with the quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew, he went 8 for 12 for 81 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He looked okay. We've been hearing he's been, awful, in the training camp session. So to see him throw no picks, have a solid performance, 8 for 12, I think that's okay. I think his stock went a little bit up compared to what we've been hearing in training camp so far. Jalen Hurts, obviously I talked about him earlier if you're just joining us. Jalen Hurts went 6 for 6, 80 yards, marched the team downfield, and got 1 touchdown. He ran for 1 initially. It got called back, and then he threw for 1. Touchdown pass to Goddard, who dove in the end zone. Beautiful play. And then Reed Sinnett, he's still in the game, but he went 7 for 15. He started off really shaky. I was kind of excited to see Reed Sinnett because I heard he had a strong arm. I heard he's been doing solid in practice, but he came out 1 for 5. It was looking grim. And here he goes right here. Let's see. Throws it across field to Huntley, I believe. There's a flag on the play. Fumble. This game's over. I'm not going to talk about this game anymore. So Reed Sinnett started 1 for 5. But he got better as the game went on. But then again, he's playing against 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th stringers. So wasn't impressed with Reed Sinnett. Antonio Holmes in the live chat, special team sucks. I have to agree with you, my man. I'm not really excited about the special teams. Looks like we got a light go out. Hold on now. Technical difficulty. Stay with me. We back on. The lights are on. The bills are paid. So the special teams, obviously I'm not impressed with the special teams. They haven't been, up to par so far this season, so I don't know. I don't know about the special teams. Clay, he's our special teams coordinator. He's been, sketchy at best at his job so far as his Eagles tenure, has started. So we're going to see what happens with him. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with our special teams. They got to get it together though. Offense looked really good. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. They definitely came to play this week, which is good to see. The first team, second team did solid. So I can't wait to see how this team progresses on offense and how we get better week to week. I think they're just gonna if they get rolling, going into week 4, week 5, maybe we're on a little bit of a streak. Who knows what this team is capable of? I think we looked really dangerous. I know we're against the Jets. I understand that. Last year they were terrible. The year before that they're terrible. The Jets have been bad for a long time, but they're still an opponent, and we look great tonight against them. So far, so good. Let's talk about the rushing, okay? So Jason Huntley, he got the majority of the snaps tonight. He went 16 carries for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. He averaged 3 yards per rush, so nothing great from Huntley. I think he looked serviceable as our 4th stringer right now. We had Miles Sanders suit up, and then he took over after Miles went out, and he was in for the majority of the snaps. But I also liked what I saw from, Kennedy Brooks. I thought Kennedy Brooks looked solid. I thought he went in there and he took care of business. He got a touchdown at the end. I thought he looked pretty good. So I was pretty impressed with his rushing ability so far. I want to see more from him. I think he can actually be a solid maybe number 3 or 4 for us, actually. So we'll see. We'll see how the running back room goes. But as of now, we just had a few guys suit up tonight, so nothing crazy as far as the running back room. Receiving, okay, so let's start off with Zach Pascal. I thought Zach Pascal looked pretty good tonight. Let me know if you guys were impressed with him like I was. I thought he came out there. He was kind of like that dirty work wide receiver, just went in there and did what he had to do to get open. I feel like he's going to do that all year. He almost scored on that pass and catch at the end of the second half, I believe. So Zach Pascal, he looked great. Let's go to the Simply New, bro. I'm mad pissed right now. I'm not talking. Congrats on 2K. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. We just hit 2K subscribers on the channel. So if you're new to the channel, you're just now tuning in, it's real quick. You just go in there, smash that subscribe button, and get down with ERT. We're going to be going live a lot this year. I'm going to be mixing it up with you guys in the comment section. So feel free to start talking your talk in the live session. Okay, so Jason Huntley had a few receptions as well. He had 4 catches for 39 yards. He was a lot more effective in the pass game. So maybe that's something that, he can do when we're up on teams heavy, and he can come in that fourth quarter and garbage timing and be productive and make this team. So we'll see what happens with that. Quez Watkins, like I said earlier, I was really excited to see Quez suit up tonight, and he did great. 2 catches for 32 yards. He did drop one later on in the game, I think the second quarter, from a pass from Minshew, but nothing to be alarmed about. But yeah, he had a great first drive. He really got the drive going with that 28, 30-yard catch that he had. So yeah, great job from Quez. Noah, he had 4 catches for 29 yards, so he was in the mix. A guy who's on the bubble. Jalen Reagor had 3 receptions for 26 yards. He had 4 targets, so he was actually somewhat productive tonight. If he could be, productive like that, that was all in the first half as well. So if he would have played the second half, maybe, who knows, maybe he would have had 5 or 6 catches. So Jalen Reagor, solid night for him. And they didn't dress him for the second half. He came out with no pads and no helmet. So that's good for him as far as making this team, because Nick Sirianni has already came out and said that he is fighting for a roster spot. So that's interesting. So we'll see how Jalen Reagor progresses. And then Dallas Goedert, he did his thing with his 1 single catch, 22 yards for the touchdown. So, great job from Dallas Goedert. He went 1 for 1 with that 1 target and catch. Miles Sanders, this is something that he has, been struggling with over the past couple years after having a productive year catching the ball his rookie season. So tonight he came out, 2 catches for 20 yards on 2 targets. So, hey, maybe he's turning a corner in the pass catching department. We have to note it. That's something that he has had some issues with. I don't think it's as bad as some people say, to be totally honest with you. Some people kind of go overboard on it. But because he had such a productive year, his rookie year, people have kind of got down on him on that. So maybe this is a year he turns the corner, starts catching a lot more balls out of the backfield. Let's see who also had some solid numbers. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside drop. Jack Stoll 1 catch. He had 1 target, and Richard Rodgers actually played tonight too, so, not bad. Okay, let's see what they're talking about in the chat. Simply Noob, Jalen Hurts 6 for 6 touchdown drive made me drink Pepsi. I was drinking Coke. I was drinking Coca-Cola, the big bottle. And yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night, especially that first drive. That got me really excited for this season. Can't wait to see what they can do for a full game together. McPherson did solid. Could get that CB spot. Yep, I agree with you. I think he's the cornerback 3 on this team. If something were to happen, God forbid, to Bradbury or Slay, he would be the one to, come in there and fill in that spot. So it was definitely, his stock went up this game. We're gonna talk about more individual play, but he did solid out there today. I was happy with McPherson. He was one of the guys that I was definitely keen on as soon as he checked in, and I thought he did solid. I can't wait to see more of him. Let's see what else is going on. Weapon X NFL Eagles. I'm concerned. Okay, so what are you concerned about? What has you concerned? The first offensive series went 6 for 6. Okay, I thought they did great. They didn't give up no touchdowns to the first team on the Jets as far as our defense concerned. What was concerning? I would like to know specifically what concerned you, because if the third and fourth quarter really concerned you, it's kind of, I don't know what to say, because those guys aren't even going to be playing once the regular season starts. Pretty much most of those guys. So besides, some special teams guys who still played and got some burn that second half. But besides that, the first half, I'm very very happy with that. Simply New, bro. Yay, Booby Miles, he did pretty good. I agree. Booby did his thing on that first drive. And like I said, he has to catch the ball. He has to catch the ball this year a lot more frequently. If he can get a few catches per game, I believe that'll just boost him up, and, that will propel him, especially if it happens the first 3 or 4 games. So I think that's going to be a point of emphasis. He's been working hard on it. He obviously wants his respect, as he said to the media plenty of times. What's up, Zay? Happy 2K subscribers. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you. You're one of the ones that have been down since the beginning. So I appreciate you, man. And if you're new to the channel, just hit 2K subscribers, 2,000 subscribers. We passed over 1 million views this week. We're currently at like 1.2 million, something like that. So, it's been a great week for ERT. I'm so happy it came on the week that the Eagles are back, because, man, I've been missing football. If you've been missing football like me, let me know in the comments. Let's see here. Man lost that actually hit. Okay. Weapon X. Okay. So you mentioned you were concerned earlier. So penalties and depth. Team seems top heavy. Okay. So when you say top heavy, are you talking about the first and the second team? Because the first team did awesome on both sides of the ball. The second team did well. They kept the lead. We went into halftime 14-3. So I if you're concerned about the third and fourth and fifth string guys, I don't know. I'm not too concerned in that department, because those guys aren't going to play that much this year. Appreciate congratulations. Like I said, 2K subscribers, great milestone. Took about a year and a week to get to that. So I'm very, very happy that you guys are continue to come back and watch, and show the love that you do. Share my videos. I really appreciate it. Terrence Williams, every team is too heavy. Honestly, we're light in a few spots, tight end, CB, but we're deep compared to a lot of teams. And yes, I've been missing football. Exactly, Terrence, man. I've been missing football so much. So it was just like I was just enamored. As soon as the guys came out of the tunnel, I was just like, man, football is really back. So yeah, for sure, I'm hyped up. As far as your comment goes, tight end and cornerback, well, let's say this. So we have 2 cornerbacks who are really number 1. Bradbury was a number 1 last year. He's been a number 1 his whole career. So on this team, because Slate is so great, he's top 5. That just, makes us top heavy, just off that alone. So the third spot would be who? Zach McPherson. He did well. He only is going to play if in garbage time this year, or if one of those guys get hurt. So with that said, I'm not too concerned on the cornerback position. I think our depth is solid. But at tight end, tight end, who do we got? We got Dallas Goedert, top 5. Okay, so he's obviously, a heavy. You're talking about as far as like we're top heavy. Well, he's one of the best tight ends in the league. After that is Driscoll. So not Driscoll. What's his? Who played today? Richard Rodgers, Jack Stoll, so I think those guys are serviceable. I think those guys are serviceable. Not enough for me to be too concerned about. Whenever Jack was in, I thought he played solid for us. Zay Edits said Hurts looks insane. Yo, let's put everything aside. All right, it was just a preseason game. We all know that, but this is a time to get excited. This is a time to really be like, what do we have here? Could we be special? And I think we're going to be fly, Eagles, fly this year. I think this could be a special year. You see how, excited they are at the end of the game when Kennedy Brooks scored the touchdown. This team has a lot of chemistry. They bond together really well. Seems like these guys really enjoy each other's company. We got a fiery coach, which, that can only just, amp you up when you're on the sidelines, when you see your coach really going hard for you like that. So I think this team is really, really connected, and I think we're going to spread our wings and fly this year. Terrence meant top heavy. Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, Noah, I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he's serviceable. That's why I think our tight end room is solid. Whenever you got a top 10 guy in the league, that's awesome because tight ends are hard to come by in the NFL. So when you got a great one like we do in Dallas Goedert, who is top 5 right now, I think he could be top 2, top 3. I think he's really gonna, go off this year. Maybe 8-10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal season. But let's get into the defense. Let's start off with a guy who I cannot wait to see him in regular season games, but tonight was a little preview. Kyzir White. Kyzir White was phenomenal tonight in the little time that he played. Perfect read on that interception. It was just a great, and he returned it for 27 yards. I mean, Kyzir White, this is what we're going to get from him. I've been saying over and over and over again. He is going to be a great pass coverage linebacker for us this year. We have not had one of these in a long time. Not only can he make plays as far as tackles, but he's going to make plays that give us the ball back, just like he did tonight. I predict, he has 2 or 3 interceptions this year. I think he's going to be phenomenal for us. Terrence Williams, I think taking advantage of our early, easy schedule is important. I have us going 5-0 to start. Point blank, period. There's no reason why we shouldn't go 5-0 minimum. We have a really soft schedule to start, and we have to take advantage of it. Zay put Kyzir, exclamation point. Yes, sir. Kyzir was doing his thing this tonight. In his first day donning, the Eagles uniform, he came out there and said, "Hey, I got something for y'all. Let me catch this, run it, give you guys a little preview, give you guys a little sneak peek of what's to come." I'm telling you, this guy is underrated. He's underrated in this league. We got a steal. We're going to have to re-sign him. I'm telling you, right now, no one's talking about it. We only got him for 1 year. We have to get him signed midway through the season. He's going to be great. This guy is a great a linebacker. He's truly underrated. Andrew Brisket, welcome to the chat, my man. Jordan Davis looked crazy. And yeah, White looking great. Nakobe Dean made some. Yeah, Nakobe Dean. We're going to get to Nakobe, so let's get to Nakobe right now. Who was excited for, if you seen Nakobe Dean play tonight, were you excited? Did his stock go up? Because it went up for me. Somebody on Twitter came and said he didn't show enough. To me, he showed enough. To me, he went on one drive. He had 4 tackles alone. He's gonna be a tackle machine. He's kind of like, I feel like Nakobe is like, he's like the linebacker version of BG, Brandon Graham. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see those guys playing together. Nakobe Dean, the young man coming in, learning, getting better every game. And then you got BG coming back from injury, people doubting him, having something to prove, chip on his shoulder. We got a special team this year. If you're not jumping on now and you're not ready to fly with us, then you need to start spreading your wings and get in the air and fly with the Eagles, because I'm telling you, we're going to have a great season. We really are. Noah wrote, didn't get to watch the game. How did Jalen do? How did Jalen look? And I'd say 4. Okay, so you think we're going to go 4-1? That's still a great start. But I'll tell you right now, he went 6 for 6, made a couple great passes, made good decisions with the ball. Wasn't, looking to do too much. Found what was available. Got the ball to him quick. And he threw a touchdown pass to, actually, he ran one in first. He ran it in, but it got called back. It was an offensive line penalty, and then the next play he threw it to our man Dallas Goedert, who got in the end zone, dove, flipped. It was a beautiful play. Check it out. It's in one of my previous videos. I already posted it. So excited that he's our coach after that Hurts hit. Exactly, man. Didn't that gets me pumped up. I love a coach that, isn't like, I'm just going to stand here and just, nah. We have a coach that fights for us. You know what I mean? He fights for us. He barks at the ref. He was talking shit to the other coach. He said, Saleh, that's BS. You know what I mean? That's some BS. He's barking at the other coach across the field. I love to see it. I love to see a coach bark like that. He doesn't take that, Bush League BS, bro. And I love this coach, man. I'm starting to really love this coach. We just need a guy. We don't need this offensive, genius, this mastermind like they say we do. We just need a guy who will go out there and be a leader of men and make the decisions that are best for the team and make adjustments. Be a coach who makes second half adjustments. And I thought he did better the second half last year of doing that. The Georgia duo, Andrew Brisket. Sorry. Of course, man. He was the Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean Bulldog reunion that they're having this year in the Eagles uniform. It's so dope because that team was so good on defense last year. If you didn't get to watch the Georgia Bulldogs, go back and watch some clips, man. Those guys were great together, and I think it's going to carry on into the league. And, the NFC East and the league messed up by letting us get both of these guys, man. These are some of the greatest college defensive people that I've seen. You know what I mean? And they were on the same team, and we got one in the third round. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to see them continue to grow their careers together in Philadelphia. When we get Smitty back, it's going to be spooky. Oh, my goodness. Candy McDaniel, yes, it is going to be real spooky, scary hours. You know what I mean? They're going to start looking at the Eagles coming down the schedule, and they're going to be like, woo, we got a lot to deal with next week. You know what I mean? Hopefully they get their bye week before they see us, man, because they're going to need to prepare. When you got AJ, you got Devontae, you got Goddard, you got Quez, and then you got Miles Sanders back there. And Jalen Hurts, who's a playmaker. He don't even have to throw the ball to make plays. I mean, it's like you said, spooky. Oh my goodness, it's going to be real spooky. Really tap in the beginning of the year. I just can't wait. I really can't wait to see what we do this year. But yeah, it's gonna be real spooky. Noah wrote in the chat, I love watching Nick's press conferences. He loves football and loves the NFL business. He's a player's coach, and that's what I love. Exactly, man. Exactly. That's pretty much what I just said. You echoed exactly my sentiments, man. He's a player's coach. He's a guy who, he's not afraid to talk. He's not afraid, even though he's not the most political correct and he doesn't talk, and sometimes he may fumble over his words, but that's because he's passionate. I'm the same way. If you've been watching this, you can see when you're passionate about something, it's real and the people can feel it. And I can definitely feel that whenever I hear our head coach, Nick Sirianni, talk. I do feel like we should get a vet and get rid of Sinnett. After what I've seen tonight, Sinnett, I think he deserves another chance. He's been pretty solid in training camp so far from everything that I've gathered from the beat reporters and such who have got to view practices. So, with that said, he's going to need to show us some more next game, and that's for sure. One thing I noticed is that Hurts is still wanting to escape to his right. He has to continue to stick in the pocket and trust his coaching and his arm. Terrence Williams. Well, I mean, if he's more comfortable, rolling to his right, he's got to do what he's got to do at that point. Every great quarterback in the league has something that they're good at and something that they're not so good at. But the ones that recognize those things that they're really good at and they perfect those things, they have long careers. And I think if they continue, and I think Jalen will, I think he'll show that he can roll to the left and make plays. And I think he's going to do that this year because he's put in the work. But so far, we haven't seen it yet. Let's give him some time. Let's give him some real game action once September comes, and let's see if he can really improve on the things that he needed to get better at last year. Noah, best case scenario for us and worse. Lohim wrote 12 wins, ? I have them at 12 plus wins. I'm just being honest. I think this team on paper and from what I've seen from practices, what I've heard, and then what I've seen tonight from our first team and then our backups, I believe this team is pretty deep. I believe we have the best offensive line in the league. Speaking of offensive linemen, Cam Jurgens. You know what I mean? Cam Jurgens looked great out there. You know what I mean? We got to give it up to Howie. We got to give it up to Howie. He had a great draft. Listen, we got Jordan Davis, who from what we've seen tonight, he is going to be a pillar on that defensive line for 10 plus years. I think we really got one. I think this guy could be extremely special, even better than Fletcher Cox. Dare I say it? He could be a Hall of Famer, man. If he can stay healthy and continue to get better, he's got the physical gifts of Godzilla, man. He's just humongous out there. So if we can continue to see him grow, oh man, it could be special. And then after that, we got Cam Jurgens in the second round, and look what he did tonight. He stepped in for Jason Kelce, a potential Hall of Famer center. Who's been an Iron Man from the Eagles. He basically looked like a Jason Kelce clone out there. If you think Jurgens looked like a Jason Kelce clone, then let me know in the comments. And that's exactly why Jason Kelce told the Eagles to draft this kid. He's seen something in him of himself. He's seen himself in him. And I think it's just going to work out great for us. I think once Jason Kelce hangs it up, I think he's going to just step in for him and fulfill his shoes and have a great, long-lasting career with us. And I can't wait. I'm very, very, very excited for Cam Jurgens' career. And then in the third round, they let Nakobe Dean slip to us. And from what I seen from Nakobe tonight, I thought he looked great. I really did. So I'm very encouraged to see what happens with this, young squad of guys that we got this year. I think they're going to grow great together, and I can't wait. You guys are going crazy in the group chat, but hold on. Offense needs a better backup quarterback. I agree. A big running back. Kennedy looks solid. Let's give him a chance to see what he can do. But, yeah, I think at the end of the day, if we could get a big bruiser like Kareem Hunt, if we can get someone like that, we could just be, spooky, like we were talking about earlier. Spooky, scary hours for the rest of the league. Noah wrote, Kelce needs to get in the Hall of Fame if Eli Manning does. Hate saying that because he's a New York Giant. Well, at the end of the day, they're all football players. They give us entertainment. And, yeah, obviously we don't mess with the Giants. But if Eli gets in, he gets in. He does have 2 championships. He did beat Tom Brady twice, even though it's some lucky catches with the helmet catch and all that. It's still potential for him, what you're saying, Jason Kelce, to make the Hall of Fame. I agree with you. I think he's definitely, he's a Super Bowl champion. He played, as of right now, he has a 102 game playing streak. I think that's all the criteria you need to be a Hall of Famer. He's been an All-Pro. He's been considered the best center in the league. So, yes, I have him going to the Hall of Fame, and he's very close to being on my Mount Rushmore. Very, very close. Originally, I had him, but I had to go back and give respect to our elders and Chuck Bednarik, and we had to give him the nod when it goes to making the Eagles Mount Rushmore. Terrence Williams, Eli is not a Hall of Famer. Laugh out loud. It's opinion based. If you look at his record, you'd be like, damn. But if you look at some of his career highlights as far as winning the Super Bowl and whatnot, then maybe you have to give it to him. Matthew what do you think of Whiteside tight end project? I think we need to just go ahead and cut Whiteside. I think we need to cut bait with this guy. He's not going to ever play as a tight end for us. He's like tight end 5, probably 6 on the depth chart right now. And obviously we don't need a tight end 5. We don't need him in the practice. It's time to cut bait. The guy's he's not a football player. It is what it is. He's just not. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the juice. He lost it as soon as he became an Eagle. Unfortunately, I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it 100. This is Eagles real talk. I can't, say, oh no, let's keep giving him a chance. Maybe he'll be. Nah, we need to cut bait with that guy. Sorry, J-Job, but you're just not it. Not as a wide receiver, tight end, or anything else for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is probably your last stint, pal. Terrence Williams, Kelce should be a Hall of Famer. He was top 1, 2, or 3 during his era. Exactly. You got to give guys like that the nod when it comes to making the Hall. Noah Concrete Chuck over Kelce, laugh my ass off. You need to go back. You need to go back and do some research, my man. Concrete Charlie, if he was transported into this era, he'd be a bad man. You know what I mean? Just because those guys, barely had pads, and, you see them mostly in black and white. You got to show those guys respect. I come from the era of NFL film, so I watched these guys play. And after I thought about it, and I went back and I looked at as much history on Chuck Bednarik. There's a really good YouTube documentary on him, about 45 minutes. Go check it out. Go check it out and then come back to me. We'll talk about it another time. But Chuck, Concrete Charlie, Chuck himself, he was a bad man, and don't get it twisted. He was feared during his time in the NFL in the 49. He was drafted in 1949, first overall, and then he had a great career with the Eagles. He also played center. You know what I mean? He played center on championship teams, so he was a great player, and I don't think he gets his due from this generation. That's just me being honest. Go back and check him out, though. How did Covey do? And JJ, he's going to be in the CFL. I agree with you on that. He's headed to the CFL. Maybe he'll have a great career. Not everyone's meant to have a great career in the NFL, guys. You know what I mean? So we just happen to draft one of those guys who, just doesn't have it. It's all good. And then as far as Covey, Kobe did well on a couple, kick returns, but he didn't have any production in the game as far as the passing game goes. And I thought he looked a little small out there. I'm going to be honest with you. He did look a little small when he was lined up out there. So we'll see what he does. This was just his first game. He also went out with the injury for a little bit, so he may have been banged up. May have not been 100%. So we'll see how he does. Do you think Doug Peterson will run the Philly special when they play the Eagles this year? Be interesting. I think it may be something that would be kind of predictable, but maybe it's possible. It would be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny if he tried to run it and it didn't work, but yeah, we'll see. That would be interesting. I can't wait for that game either. I miss Doug. Doug was a great head coach for us. Salute Doug. If Doug was a great head coach for the Eagles, at least for a solid amount of years, give the salute emoji or 100 or something as far as Doug Peterson goes. Let me know how you feel, because sometimes I miss Doug. Noah wrote, I love NFL films too, but Kelsey did more for us. I love Bednarik, but I'm taking Kelsey Iron Man because of that. He was an Iron Man, but so was Chuck in his time. Like I said, we weren't there. They didn't have social media back then. They didn't have a lot of the stuff that they have now, and the NFL's completely grown into some conglomerate that we see all this footage. We don't have as much footage on Chuck. So like I said, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've read, I just have to give it to Chuck. I have to show respect as far as the Eagles Mount Rushmore goes. Terrence Williams, I think Covey could make the team, but first-round pick Reagor and politics will come into play. Well, I mean, Rager's a better player than Covey right now. I mean, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. He's actually been in this league. Reagor has been in this league. He has gotten a few solid catches. He's made a couple big plays. He's not. Covey's not better than Reagor. Reagor will make this team over Covey. It's. I don't even have like an argument for that. If you really think about it, Reagor is a better player than Covey. But Covey let's see what he's got. He didn't do anything tonight, so he's nothing yet. He's just a guy trying to make the team. Chuck Bednarik also fought in World War II. The guy was a badass, man. He was what I mean? He was an all-pro. He was, he was just a monster. Even after, if you watch that, that documentary I was talking about earlier about Chuck, he was just a strong man. You know what I mean? He loved football after he retired. He still stayed connected with the Eagles. Great Eagle, great man, World War vet. Salute up top to Chuck. Doug Peterson won us our only Super Bowl. I love him forever because of that. I agree with that man. I agree that man was great. I respect it. Of course, man, he was great. Dang, man. I just even what I used to always laugh about when they would show the behind the scenes stuff of him always saying, "All right, let's go get some ice cream." He was just a fun guy, you know what I mean? Fun coach, lovable guy. You could tell he really loved his players. I think why he's not here is mostly because of Carson Wentz. Let's be honest. And maybe his relationship with the front office and Howie Roseman started to go a little left. Howie Roseman didn't give him enough control. But, it is what it is. We got Nick now. But, yeah, I always loved Doug. He won us our only Super Bowl. So he's the man. He'll always be the man to me. Ben Derek, pride of Liberty High School, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Exactly. And that's another thing. He was born and bred right near Philly. You know what I mean? He was a Philly native basically, and he just really loved to play football, man. That's why he never came out the game. The man never came out the game. He played offense and defense. When he wasn't knocking dudes unconscious on defense as, one of the hardest hitting linebackers in history, you know what he was doing? He was taking snaps. He was the center. So that's something Jason Kelce can't do, or he hasn't been able to do. That's very rare in our time anyways. I'm not saying that's not a knock against Kelce. I'm just saying to play 48 minutes a game in the NFL, that's unheard of, man. So, yeah, we got to give Chuck his respect. He's a legend. Just like Andrew Brisket wrote, Eagles legends, Dougie P and Chucky B. Exactly. I like that, Chucky B. Those are Eagles royalty, as far as I'm concerned. They are kings. Those are Eagle kings. You feel me? Those guys, they gave us something that the normal or even good head coaches couldn't. Dick Vermeil, he didn't win us a Super Bowl. A lot of players, they were great, but they didn't deliver us a Super Bowl. Those guys, Chucky B and Dougie P, man, they really got it done for us, and it's always respect to those guys. Those guys are Eagles royalty. But yeah, man, I thought the special teams I earlier disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Come to play like I thought they would. They definitely are still shaky when it comes to the defensive side, the coverage side of punts and kickoffs. It's a concern, and I'm starting to think that this could be definitely trickling down as a coaching issue, because we did give that position to Clay last year. He's one of the youngest coaches in the league. Maybe he's not ready for this. Maybe he just can't get to that special teams unit. It takes coaching, and it takes players, and it takes effort, and something isn't clicking. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Noah wrote, I think Doug P got too much in his own head. I think Nick will win us a few times. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I think Nick Sirianni will. I think he's gonna get us to the bowl, man. I think he's got a good shot of getting this team to the promised land. You know what I mean? I really do. I love the roster, and I love the fire from him as a head coach. Worst head coach, Rich, Kotite, Chip Kelly, Ray Rhodes. I would say Chip Kelly, man. He ran this team into a ditch. You know what I mean? I was very excited for Chip Kelly when he first came on as our head coach. And that first game when we just came out like gangbusters, and we had D-Jax. We just had a stacked roster as far as the offense goes, led by Michael Vick, who was a terror and he was just throwing bombs. I mean, we just came out, and I just loved what I seen from Chip Kelly. But for some reason, Chip Kelly's his personality just rubs everybody the wrong way, including me. You know what I mean? Some things that he said, his personality in press conferences. At the end of the day, he wanted too much control, and he's better off in college where he does have all the control and he can make all the decisions. Noah wrote, different times. I agree with you now on Chuck. Who else is on the Mount Rushmore? So I got Reggie White. He had, how many games did he? I think he played 124 games. He had a sack per game when he was an Eagle, which is a crazy stat. Hall of Famer, 8 years as an Eagle. Just one of the most dominant NFL players of all time. So he's in there. And then I got Chuck, and then I got Brian Dawkins, and then you may be surprised, but I got Nick Boles. Bowls, baby. Let's go. You know what I mean? We got Nicky in there because he's the only quarterback to deliver us a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He just had some good games as an Eagle. He set a record, 7 touchdowns in 2013 Pro Bowl year. He only threw 2 picks, 27 touchdowns that year. And then he led us to the Super Bowl, and he's the only backup to ever become a Super Bowl MVP. And he beat Tom. He outdueled Tom. You gotta put him in there. You know what I'm saying? He's gotta be in the top 4 Eagles. He's got to be in the Mount Rushmore. You don't think of the Eagles. This is when I think of like the Mount Rushmore, I think of players that earned respect, players that had great careers, players who gave it their all for the midnight green or the Kelly green. And those guys personified that to me in the biggest moments that we needed them. So I have, like I said, Reggie White, Brian Dawkins, Nick Foles, and Chuck, Concrete Charlie, Ben Derrick. So that's my list. Chick got rid of all of Andy's guys. Can't respect him. Definitely can't. You know what I mean? He got rid of some of the greatest Eagles of our generation. That's for sure. This the last 20 years, he got rid of those. He got rid of D-Jax. You know what I mean? He didn't re-sign. What's his name? He just, he just never connected with the fan base. He was just kind of a jerk, to be totally honest with you. Matthew put, Reggie White came to Philly through the USFL, Memphis Steamboats. That's right. So you know your history. Reggie White wasn't initially in the NFL. He played for the USFL, the United States Football League. I believe that's what it stands for. It was a lower tier, football league. He dominated, and he came to Philly, and, the rest is history. Wish he could have won a Super Bowl here, but he's arguably the best Eagle of all time. Terrence Williams, I like that list. Okay, respect. Thank you. Andrew wrote, yes, sir. Great list. Weapon X, favorite Eagle. How can you not love, the Weapon X himself, man? He was just an absolute terror. I think he struck fear into offenses and coaches. He was a player that, flew around the field. He could do anything. He could run in there, sack the quarterback. He could, cover people, and he could also, get interceptions and make plays after. He was pretty good yards after the interception. He wasn't just a guy who, got tip balls. He actually picked that thing off, and he was a great Eagle, man. Obviously, fan base loves him. He's opened up about his, his depression and things like that. If you haven't seen that documentary on B-Doc, definitely check that out. I just think he's a great person overall, and a great representative for Eagles football. Noah wrote, Big D Nick will always be an Eagles legend. They have a statue with him at the link. Exactly. Him, and who is it with? Doug Peterson. So yeah, you can't have a list without Nick on there, as far as I'm concerned. When you think of Eagles football, you will always think of that. So story time for those who are still in the chat and who's still riding with the chat. 47, almost 48 minutes into this. Man, this was a great day to be an Eagles fan. But anyways, story time. So I was at the LA Coliseum when Nick Foles came in for an injured Carson Wentz when he blew out his ACL. There's actually a picture of Carson Wentz walking into the tunnel, and I'm like this looking over him. I was just so upset, man, because we lost our starting quarterback, and it could have been bad. You never know what it is when a quarterback walks out of the tunnel. But lo and behold, Nick Foles, number 9. And it was crazy because the guy sitting right in front of me had a Nick Foles jersey on that day. So as soon as I seen him, I was like, oh, that's a dope jersey. I haven't seen a Nick Foles jersey in a minute, because obviously he wasn't playing with us at that time. He was the backup. So it was kind of cool seeing that. And then lo and behold, he comes in there, handles his business for us, and leads us to a Super Bowl. So I'll always have love for Nick Foles. We wouldn't have a Super Bowl ring if he never played. Harold Carmichael, consideration for Mount Rushmore. Consideration, honorable mention for sure. He was a great Eagle, obviously. He has the most, I believe the most, or the second most, then what's his name, passing last year. Anyways, he was a great wide receiver. He definitely is, he's a spokesperson for Eagles Nation as well. Always stuck around the franchise. You always see him every year. Yeah, great Eagle. I love Harold Carmichael. Let's see. Noah wrote, was at the Dawkins return to Philly. That was the best football game I've ever watched in person. Awesome, man. Yeah, I feel you, man. That must have been a great. I wish I was there too, brother. I'm glad you got that memory. Sean Bennett, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining ERT. Damn, these Jets got no luck. They sure don't, man. Especially if Zach Wilson is going to be hurt. Ugh, man. You know, it's going to be another tough year for JETS, Jets Station. They're going to be, you know what I mean? They're going to be in trouble this year. So, you know, let's see what happens as far as, you know, their season goes. But yeah, I don't know about their season going forward. It could be a really long season, maybe a bottom five team in the league. Terrence Williams, he wrote, Chip literally could have set us back 5 years by trading away those players, especially my boy Shady McCoy. I know that still hurts to think about it. Yeah, it hurts too, man, because I remember that year I got a Shady jersey. And I wore it one time. It was for Christmas. I wore it one time at the end of the year, the last game of the season. And soon after that, Chip Kelly, he traded him away. And I'll never forgive Chip for that. It still makes no sense to this day. It makes no sense to this day. He just didn't want Andy Reid's players, like someone said in the chat earlier. He was just a jerk, man. Like I said, I don't really rock with Chip Kelly at all. Noah, is the doc on Weapon X on YouTube? Great day for Bleeding Green Nation. I was at work watching the game when Carson got hurt. Watching it, thought our season was over. Man, I know. I remember we ended up winning the game, and as I'm walking to my car, I was like, man, please, please, please let Carson Wentz not have his ACL torn. And then shortly after, got the news, and we were like, hey, Nick Foles did it tonight. He can do it again. And then we kept the faith as Eagles fans. And, you know, Nick delivered us a championship, man. That's why I said he's in the Eagles Mount Rushmore for that. Matthew wrote, Zach Wilson doesn't have an NFL arm. I think he is a bust like Johnny Manziel. I have to agree with you, man. I think he looks small. You know what I mean? He just doesn't look like an NFL quarterback, does he? You know, he just looks like a guy who pretty much got hyped up for some reason during the draft, which I still don't understand either. And he got a bag as far as, you know, being a top NFL draft pick, but I don't think he's got it. I don't think he has the NFL arm. Someone wrote, ain't got the NFL arm. He throws 70-yard balls, laugh my ass off, but that's what it is. Well, anyone can throw a 70-yard pass in practice, or, you know, just throwing a deep ball, but it's different when you got an offensive line in front of you, a defensive line. You got to scan the field. You got to know, you know what I mean? You got to read the defense prior to even snapping the ball. A lot of that goes into play. So we've seen a lot of guys who can throw the ball really far, but arm strength kind of goes down when you got pressure. You know what I mean? When you're a little guy like him that can't really see, you know, over guys like Jordan Davis. Imagine you being 5'9" or 10, 11, whatever he is. You know, I'm not saying he's like short for regular people's standards, but for NFL quarterback standards, that's a short guy. You feel me? So when he's in there, now imagine if you're him in his stature and you're trying to see over guys like Jordan Davis, who's 6'8", 500 pounds. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on now. RIP to all Jets quarterbacks. That's funny. That's funny, Noah. Yeah, man. They got a tough road ahead as soon as you put on that Jets helmet if you're a quarterback. AT, thank you for joining the chat. True, but it was necessary for the Eagles to make those moves and put us in position to win the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously everything happens for a reason, so we can look back on it like that. But during that time, Chip Kelly, with all due respect, had nothing to do with us winning the Super Bowl. He had nothing to do with it. He made trades at that time who hindered us, who made us worse. Thank God Howie Roseman stepped in. Let's give Howie some respect now. He's the one, you know, pushing the buttons, you know what I mean, at the end of the day and making the calls. So he made moves that put us in position. Yes, did we not draft JJ, Justin Jefferson? Yes. Did he make a couple moves that were bad, like J-Jaw? Yes, of course. Every general manager makes a couple bad calls. But guess what? He also brought in a whole bunch of players, like a random guy like Patrick Robertson, who came in and was a great cornerback slot guy for us, who made big plays throughout the year. And he brought in LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi. He made a lot of plays, a lot of decisions that he doesn't get credit for, that I'm going to give him credit for. I'm going to give him his flowers right now. Matthew wrote, Jets are where all QBs go to die except Namath. Man, for real. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they just don't have a track record. Sean Bennett put he's 6'2". He's 6'2" on a step stool, Matthew. For real. Let's be honest. He's not 6'2", guys. He's not 6'2". I mean, maybe with his cleats on, it gives him another inch and a half. That boy's 6 foot with a helmet on. I mean, come on now. That boy is not 6'2". I mean, I know they do the measurements, and if that's what it says on his profile, cool, but we all know he's not 6'2", okay? Let's be honest. AT said, no, I'm saying that Chip Kelly's moves made Howie make counter moves to put us in position to win the Super Bowl, not Chip Kelly. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, we agree 100% then, if that's the case for sure, because someone's got to clean up the mess, right? You know, if you guys have kids, I don't have kids personally, but if you have kids, they make a mess, or you got a puppy, you know what I mean, who makes a mess when you come home, who's got to clean it up? You, right? Someone's got to make the decision to clean up someone's mess, or it's going to stay a mess. And Howie Roseman, you got to give it to him. He was the man for the job. He got it done. How tall is Jalen Hurts? 6'1". Laugh out loud. He may be 6'1", and he may say he's 6'1", but he plays like 6'4". He doesn't play like a shrimp out there like Zach Wilson does, my man. You know, Zach Wilson he's obviously not as big as Jalen. He's not as strong as Jalen. You know what I mean? So he's just a smaller guy. And when you're not as big, just, you know, stature-wise, you look smaller, even if you're the same height as the guy next to you. If you're referring to him next to Jalen Hurts, then it's no competition. Someone's bigger and stronger and more powerful, and someone's not. And the one who's not is Zach Wilson. So let's just end that debate. Noah, Howie is great outside the draft. Well, you can say that, but let's see the players that he drafted just recently. Jordan Davis, Kobe Dean, Cam Jurgens, Devontae Smith, who he had to move up for. It just wasn't like he just fell into his lap. You know, we had to make moves for these guys. Those are 4 guys that could potentially be on this team and be starters and very productive players for years to come. So, I mean, now let's go to the Jets. Okay, we're talking about the Jets tonight. So, who have they drafted? Who have they drafted that's been so special? Who have they brought in that they went on a playoff run and won a Super Bowl with? I'll wait. It's not easy, guys. I know as fans we get caught up with like, oh, we should have did this, we should have did that. But at the end of the day, we've all thought some guys would have been great, and we didn't draft them, and they ended up being scrubs. They ended up, you know, fading out of the league, and you probably wanted them, just like me. There's guys that I thought would be great, and we didn't draft them. They went to another team, and they weren't good. So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, there's 30-something draft picks per round, 32 draft picks. Every team has 1 or 2 per round, usually, typically. And it's hard because you may want a guy, he gets taken, and then in the moment you have to make a split decision. So I think people are too hard on Howie, and they need to chill out on Howie because he's brought us some really great players. Dirty hit in preseason, Debo wrote. Yeah, it was a Debo move, actually. Debo. You know what I mean? It was a Debo dirty play. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, Nick Sirianni obviously wasn't having that. He was barking across field to the other coach like, hey, this is what you're training these guys to do? You know what I mean? This is cool for you guys? You guys celebrating on the sidelines? A dirty hit? Should have got kicked out of the game. He led with his helmet. And Jalen was what? 3 or 4 yards into the white out of bounds? 3 or 4 feet, I mean. So it's like, that was a crazy dirty play, especially in the preseason against the other team's opposing number 1 player. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be trying to do that in any games, preseason, regular season, postseason, Super Bowl. You should never do that. But he did it in the preseason. You know what I mean? That's dirty. So yeah, I got no respect for that dude. If you know his name, put his name in the chat, because whoever that was, he's trash to me. That was a real trash move. Debate, y'all is trash. Cowboys going to rock your world. I knew you were a Cowboys fan, but thank you for joining us. Thank you, appreciate it. And how the Cowboys been doing the last decade? No. 2 decades. No. What, 90, 94, 95? Going on 3 decades? How many playoff games y'all win? Get out of here. But thank you for the views. Andrew Brisket, Cowboys fan in the chat. Yeah, I know. They reveal themselves eventually. They like to play sneaky, and then they eventually reveal themselves, especially after they say some whack comments. Yeah, Dallas Cowgirls. You know what I mean? Nothing against Cowgirls, but let's be honest. These guys this is their fan base. You know what I mean? So, not saying all Cowboys fans are bad. One of my best friends is a Cowboys fan, and every year I love to send him that one picture of the Cowboys mascot, and he's like this, sad in the hallway. I look forward to sending him that. The random pictures of the Cowboys fans crying, literally in tears in the stadium, like they had some great expectations, like they were actually gonna win one. Let's talk some trash. You know what I mean? Cowboys, Zeke Elliott is washed up. Let's get into this. You started this, my man. You wanted the smoke, so I'm gonna blow all the smoke in your direction. You wanted this, so let's talk about Zeke. He's washed. Let's talk about Dak. He usually starts off the season good and he tails down. That's why they can never do nothing in the playoffs if they do make the playoffs. I mean, Dak is overrated. I agree with you, Brisket. I 100% agree with you. He's a solid quarterback. He does his thing. He bounced back from a horrific injury a couple years ago. You know what I mean? I give him respect. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's trash, but he's definitely not as good as Cowboys fans want them to believe. All of Cowboys Super Bowls are on the History Channel. They sure are, my man. And don't get me wrong, it took us a minute to get one, but shit, at least we, have got something recent over the past 5 years. You know what I mean? We got something. These guys haven't been truly relevant. With all seriousness, they haven't been relevant since the 90s, okay? Since Emmitt Smith had a star on his helmet. You know what I mean? Troy Aikman. You know what I mean? Deion Sanders when he was on the Boys. You know what I mean? Like these fans are hilarious. They're delusional. You know what I mean? So let's continue. Let's continue. Let's go into the other teams in the NFC East, because we can talk about the trash boys all day. But the Commanders, I see the Commanders having a terrible season. You know what I mean? You seen Carson Wentz getting interviewed today, and the interview guy was on his head talking about Indy didn't want you. Philly didn't want you, and he's just looking dumb up there like, well, I don't look into those things. You got a phone, you got a newspaper, you got something, you turn on the TV and watch ESPN from time to time. Carson Wentz always likes to act coy and like he doesn't, pay attention to anything. He doesn't hear anything. He doesn't hear the noise. Yeah, you do, man. Yeah, you do. You do. You hear some of it. There's no way to avoid all of the noise, especially in 2022. This ain't 1948. Get out of here. What's the other team? The Giants? Daniel Dimes? Give me a break, bruh. We're taking this division. We are obviously the most, the best team in this division by far. And it's not even close to me. Yeah, do the Cowboys have a solid offensive line? Yeah, but they lost Amari Cooper. They have, a dinosaur back there running the ball, and Zeke Elliott, you know what I mean, who loses power and strength every single year. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm good on the Cowboys. We're beating them twice a year this year. This is the year we do it. We may sweep the division completely. We may bring out the broom on the whole division. This team could be special. I really do. I really think this team could be special. Cowboys relevant. The Cowboys haven't been relevant since Vanilla Ice. It's been a long time since Ice Ice Baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, you still hear that song. You still hear it, but you don't see him no more. You don't see him performing that no more. And the Cowboys haven't performed in the playoffs and beyond since Vanilla Ice was, since he was making hits in the 90s and he was on Ninja Turtles and shit. You know what I mean? Noah said, F the Cowboys, Dak is a Jimmy G getting hyped up. He does remind me of Jimmy G sometimes, especially later on in the season in the cold when he's not in that big, enormous Jerry World dome of his over in Arlington. You know what I mean? Wherever they're at now, wherever their stadium is. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the Cowboys, overrated. I think they're going to win 8 or 9 games this year. I think they're going to be serviceable, but I think the loss of Amari Cooper is going to show, and I think Zeke being a historic running back at this point in his career, I don't think he's going to have much to say as far as, winning a lot of games for them. I really don't. Like I said, the Commanders are weak, and, they got Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz isn't beating us this year. We're not going to allow that. Nope. Not going to happen at the Link. Not going to happen in DC. It's not going to happen. The Commanders, they're not going to get it done this year. It's not going to happen. And the Giants are trash. Andrew, Birds versus Boys, Christmas Eve. I know I'm going to try to get to that game. I want to get to that game so bad. I feel like Christmas is going to come early. You know what I mean? I really do. I cannot wait for that. I can't wait for every game, but that's one of the ones I got circled. Let's be honest. That's going to be a good one. But hey, we're an hour and 5 minutes in. Thank you for rocking with me, man. I think you guys are just as excited as I am going into this year. I think, I think we could turn this season into something special. We got to believe in this squad. It seems like they believe in each other. It feels like the coaching staff is pretty locked in. I think they're going to learn from their mistakes last year, and I think we're going to continue to grow, just like I grew this channel into 2,000 subscribers in a little over a year, 1 week over a year. I already have 2,000 subscribers, so if you're new to the channel and you're tapped in with Eagles Real Talk Live, go ahead and hit that like button for one. That just helps the algorithm see my channel more, and it helps grow the channel. The more views I get, obviously, the more I can expand this channel and grow with you guys. So I really appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me. Let me see, a couple people been tapping in. Maybe just Jason Wooten will come out of retirement again. Maybe, they're gonna need him. They're gonna need all the help they can get. The Cowboys are in Arlington. What about the Chiefs? No Hill. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. So the Chiefs, I think they're going to struggle without Hill this year. People are saying, "Oh no, Patrick Mahomes is so good. He doesn't need Tyreek Hill." Tyreek Hill is one of the best wide receivers in the league, top 5. Okay, so when that guy goes away, it's going to be a little tougher. Just like I think Davante Adams leaving Green Bay, I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. I think a lot of times, Aaron Rodgers, as great as a quarterback as he is in the regular season, he's great. And in the regular season games, he's great, but he also has at least one or two balls per game that he just throws up. It's a 50-50 ball, and Adams pretty much comes down with it almost every single time because he's one of the best to ever do it. So, I think losing that far of the superior wide receivers, being Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams, respectfully, I think those guys are going to leave a gaping hole in those guys' offenses. And I think Mahomes and Rodgers aren't going to have the same production as they're used to. Let's put the Cowgirl. No, I already read that one. Agreed. Peace out, man. Congrats for 2K. By the way, appreciate you, man. 2K, we made it. The channel's just growing. I hope to get another 2K soon. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos for y'all. So do me a favor, like this. Share it with your fellow Eagles fans. Let them know that there's another person on YouTube that's, putting out that real Eagles content. Matthew put... James Parson put Hurts keeps running, getting hurt. No pun. Okay. I don't think he's been hurt that much running the ball. So I mean, as much as he ran last year, I don't think he necessarily got injured on a run. Who knows when he messed up his ankle? It could have been an injury that gradually got worse. Who knows? But I wouldn't necessarily say he's getting hurt running the ball. He does a lot of sliding. He gets out of bounds just like he did tonight, and that was a late hit. So I think he does well at protecting himself as much as you can. It's football. It's the most violent sport in the world. It's the most violent sport that we got, legal sport that we got that's, this violent. So it is what it is. They're football players. They got bones. They break. Eagles will be 6-0 in the division. Agreed. Salute on that. Go Birds. Great stream. Appreciate you, Noah. AFC West probably has the best quarterbacks. You're probably right, collectively. New channel for me, and you need to do. We need to collaborate sometime for sure. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna be having a lot of collabs with a lot of possibly some of your favorite Eagles content creators besides myself. I'm looking to definitely do a lot of collabs, and we got something coming up maybe next week. So keep an eye on that. Thank you guys for joining the chat. Eagles Real Talk out. Hey, it's been real. Keep it real always. Fly Eagles fly. Can't wait for the next preseason game, baby.